Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. It's your first time to get done showing you. They painted all this, or they used whitewash, I think is what they call it. And that's what they've done here, and remember I showed you the brick made of dirt and gravel and straw. There, that's it right there. So you did a pretty good job. That's what made it last for so many years. Okay, now if this right over here, that's going to be different. I hope they're not going to do anything with that. Same thing. It's just all raw brick. But anyway, just wanted to show you what was going on. I want to talk about training and experience. There's a night and day difference, and that's what I see a lot, and I know you see a lot here on YouTube. People that make videos or make comments, they act as if they have some kind of knowledge, and the knowledge they have is based on their training. It's experience is what it is, but that's their experience, is training, and it's good. I have no problem with it until, like, say, they start making comments about, like, their training is superior to experience, because it's a whole nother world. And that's why I wanted to start giving you some examples. And the first thing, when I went into the Marines, I went in 1967. I was 18 years old, and I trained in California. And we had an 8-week boot camp. And all the boot camp does is teach you personal responsibility, and so they're teaching you to open your mind, and they're crushing. First, they crush your spirit, and because you don't have much of a spirit. If your spirit can be crushed, you don't have much of a spirit. So they crush your spirit, and then they rebuild you in 2 months, 8 weeks. And that's a wartime is 8 weeks. I think it's normally 12 weeks is what they do. I heard in World War II they did it in 6 weeks. So it is very tough. And after that, and even with that, we're taught rifles. They say every Marine's a rifleman, and that's what it is. You are taught to handle a rifle. And from there, I went into advanced infantry training, and then that's when things really started getting. Well, I guess they showed us some combat. I guess some combat tactics in boot camp, but it's when we got into advanced combat training is where it really got serious, and little of it was shooting, and the reason was we already were shooters from boot camp. So, but what we did learn is how to use other items and how to use your hands and all this kind of stuff. And what was really cool, and I said, here I'm 18, I think I'm really cool. They taught me how to kill somebody in 4 seconds. And so through the training, I had the moves for combat. And the combat was to kill somebody in 4 seconds. And boy, your head is big. Your head's real big at 18 years old. And then I went to Vietnam. And then after I went to Vietnam, I got to Vietnam, and I think I covered some of this in my crappy Vietnam War stories. I got a series of crappy Vietnam War stories, and I think I mentioned something about this. But when I went to Vietnam, then they started. Well, after I was there for a little bit, they put me in with combat experienced people. In other words, these people, they've done the stuff and they know what it's all about. And so then in combat, we did heavy combat about once a month, something like that. And when I say heavy, there's 100 of us, and we are against anywhere from 500 to 7,000. And we get anywhere from a handful dying to a third dying in each conflict. And you fight for hours, most time just hours, anywhere from 2 to 4 or 5 hours most of the time. That's what the combat is. And it's not like combat you see on TV, shooting and all that kind of stuff. Seldom was it like that, in my experience. And a lot of it was more hand to hand, and it was at night. And so I was able to cut down the time from 4 seconds to less than a second. And it's not the training that gets you that kind of an attitude, that kind of abilities. It's not training. Each combat experience I have, these are life and death experiences, each one. And each one you live through, you learn more. And like I say, you get multiples per hour. And so these all add up to experience. And on my videos, I talk with that type of experience in mind. I still think this stuff. You don't forget that kind of stuff. I mean, I talk about it. You pee and you shit in your pants. You don't forget about that kind of stuff. Some of it you do, but some of it you don't. And so we did that. That was a big thing. That's the big difference between training and experience. And then I trained SWAT teams from my late 30s to my early 50s. And I didn't train, a lot of people think I train them like, oh, you go into the room like this and you do that. No, I didn't do that. I'm into counter-terror, and I specialize in hostage rescue. Okay, in other words, in their minds, when they came in to get me, the scenario was I took hostages, and they're supposed to come and rescue those hostages. Now, it was all full contact for SWAT teams. In other words, everything that SWAT teams use, all their equipment, their tactics and techniques and stuff like that, is what they use in real life. The only difference that was the ammunition that we used. The ammunition we used were wax or plastic bullets, so you don't die. You will get shot, you will hurt. Okay, and for them, remember, normally a way SWAT teams train is they get old Joe, old Joe. They get old Joe, he's a nice old boy. And they send him inside the building, and they go inside the building and they get him. And that's normally what they train. And so I came along, and I told him, well, I don't know who you people are. You don't know me. I'm not here to make friends. So we're going to do our thing. And the only thing I ask is you don't use real bullets. And that's the only thing I ask. Other than that, we're open to everything. I mean, it's all full contact. Do everything you're going to do. I could not do that with military, because military is the way the military does things. They focus on getting the job done, and who dies doesn't make any difference. So, well, this is different. This is public protection. You don't use military for public protection. That's what police are for. So their tactics were a little bit different. But me, as being the bad guy, my bad guy tactics are the same no matter what. Okay, now the difference between me being the bad guy is my hostages. Yes, I had my hostages, and they were tied, and they were, put in a place where they'd be safe. Sometimes I allow the hostages to escape, and this is what I'm talking about. The military to kill everybody, and so police had to determine which ones were the bad and which ones were good. So if a good guy escapes, they would run out and all this kind of stuff. So but now that was my work part. Now personally, what I did, and sometimes I had people pay me to teach them not to be kidnapped. I say I got a lot of connections down here in Central America. Kidnapping is a big thing.